like to talk a little bit about Leicester City, if that's all right.
Go on, mate. Yeah.
Rodgers, as we know, learnt his trade at one of your old clubs.
Yeah.
What have you made of their season so far?
On a personal level, they've exceeded my expectations. So, you've obviously got to applaud it. But it's like I'll just scratch the surface of Brit. I mean, let's say without being like superstar, they'd probably be looking to replace him now. Schmeichel, decent in goal. Evans, an established Premier League centre-back. I'm not a great fan, never have been. I saw him play for Man United at the Emirates, where he was actually rowing on the touchline with Ferguson. But he's got that experience. It's like must be like going round a roundabout the size of him. I think the black kid they bought from France, was he 19? I think he is. What a player he looks like he's going to be. A revelation. Sort of player you'd love to work with. He looks like he's got a fantastic attitude as well. So if he does his own work, the likes of Rodgers will do their own work. You want to know what sort of human being you're signing as well. He looks like he's a fantastic player to work with. You've got the experience of Christian Fuchs. You've got Maddison. I'll put on social media, in my opinion, when they played Spurs at the weekend, better than anything Spurs had to offer, better than any midfield player in the Spurs playing staff and their squad in their first team. So, magnificent ability. I've been a great fan of his for a couple of 3 years now, him and Grealish. And I've been praising them and trying to promote, if you like, their England chances, because I think we need that creativity and that invention. Vardy up front looks to me to be a great guy, great pro, great character, but above all else, he still looks a great athlete. Nowhere near off the pace. He's all over it when it comes to putting the finishing touches to crosses that are coming in. Great finisher. I think it's terrible. If I was Southgate, I'd never be off the phone. I'd be pestering him day and night. He'd be eating his Weetabix and I'd be on the phone to him. I think he saw that his chances were limited with Kane. So he's gone, I'm going to call it a day. But me personally, being who I am, right, because that's life for me. I've been called brash. I've been called, many things, but one of them is brash. I'd play Kane and Vardy together in the formation I was talking about earlier. It wouldn't frighten me. And I think it can never go underappreciated the amount of goal threat that you would have between the two of them. And I don't think you can never have too much of it. So you might rotate it and rest one of them now and again, but I would love to see them play together. I would love to have seen them play together on a consistent basis. But I suppose people would argue we've got Sterling for that. So when you look at it, they look very well drilled, very well organised. And above all else, it doesn't matter what Rodgers does. If they're not a decent set of lads, and I've experienced both, some of the best times I ever had was when we got a result after I picked a team from a very limited squad. And people said against all the odds, they said, yeah, there's some chance you've got with that team as we walked off the training field, two people in particular. There's nothing more satisfying when you've put together a good set of lads who will roll their sleeves up and have a go and stick to the game plan and keep chipping away. Because over the years, listen, James, international level, I'm going to put it in my second book. This is one of the things where the foreigners have got the jump on us, in particular the Germans, right? Everyone's more or less ability-wise, sports science-wise, tactics-wise, formations-wise, coaching-wise, interpretations-wise of all the above. We're more or less on an even keel, right? It all boils down to fundamentally a couple of three things. Whether you've got decent human beings, whether they're humble enough to be coached and listen to the information you're giving them, and it might just be a snippet and you think, that's so simple. Why didn't I think of it? Or brings me to the third thing, why don't I keep doing it? Why don't I keep repeating it? This is where the Germans in particular got the jump on everyone. They just kept, over 60 years, they've just kept doing the right thing time and again, time and again, time and again, over again, over and over and over and over again, until they knock the door down or get the door open. You understand? It's about chipping away and doing the right thing, not just some of the time, but it's about doing the right thing all of the time. And then you'll get results. But we haven't done that. You know what I mean? But so I think a lot of it, in answer to your question, I think they've got a fantastic set of lads there.
With that in mind, could this Leicester team be reminiscent of the Leicester side that won the league title? Like, for instance, Jamie Vardy, he's hit 33 now. He's already notched, I think, his 13 league goals this season. Could that form alone, could that be enough for them to get back to title-winning contention?
I think they'll just get slightly edged out. Yeah, I mean, it's not beyond them to finish in a Champions League place, but I think they just get edged out. I think it's probably between 2 or 3 teams. They could be thrown in the mix, but if you twisted my arm up my back, I'd say they'll just get edged out. But I mean, in Vardy, I love him. People accuse me at Leyton Orient of being afraid of big characters. Characters like that, give me them all day long. He's he looks a bit of a scallywag. He looks as if he's a live wire. He looks as if he don't stop fucking rabbiting around the dressing room and playing pranks and cracking jokes and one-liners. But give me someone like that anytime, any day of the week, because there's good big characters and there's bad big characters. Simple.
How can Vardy look fresh at 33, have his pace intact, still scoring goals, looking like an elite striker, when other strikers that have had his attributes naturally have been burned out at 27, 28?
You've answered your own question. It's like when back in the day, I mean, I think I had another 2 or 3 years. I questioned a geezer who didn't know what he was doing. That was Peter Eustace. So I was at the pro game at 31, coming up to 32. But I'd been in and around a professional environment from the age of 12. So I'd had 20 years non-stop fucking battering. You know what I mean? So the flip side of that is, you've answered your own question slightly in the respect that someone like Vardy came into the pro game late. I'm not saying he never got a battering in non-league, but what he'd have done different things in life, and he'd have only trained twice a week. I mean, that's going down the Clough path where they was off till Thursday. So they'd have 4 days off straight off the bat after a good win. You've got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off, and just report for training Thursday and Friday, play again Saturday. Right? So there's something to be said for that. What he might be reaping the benefits now of not having to put his body through certain things that you do when you're in it for, like I was, for 20 years. And you try, because you get back trying to make it. You get a battering and you give a battering. You understand? Especially way back when I watched the thing on Match of the Day the other day. Return, it's a big match revisited. It was a fixture from, I think it was 1974-75 season again. It was Alan Hudson playing for Stoke against Manchester City. Stoke 4, Manchester City 0. Hudson made 1 and scored 1. The pitch looked like a turnip field. Absolute disgrace. It looked like, I'll tell you what the pitch looked like. It looked like they'd planted Sweden turnip, ploughed it up, picked the Sweden turnip, then planted potatoes, let them grow, then picked them up, then had the fucking Horse of the Year show on it. That's what it looked like, right? But now you've got all these factors. But I think the main one being with Vardy, he came into it late. Yeah, he could play quite comfortably 35 or more if he looks after himself, as long as he don't use that lose that yard, which they'll do the times. Behind the scenes they'll do the times. You know what I mean? 0 to 30 metres or whatever, 0 to 10, 0 to 20, 0 to 30, 0 to 50. And if his times don't go backwards, they go, you know what? As long as he looks after himself, he can keep playing.
Media prediction for Leicester City this season, where do you see them finishing?
5th.
Interesting.
Wouldn't dismiss them, Champions League place. You know what I mean? I might be wrong. But ultimately, I think it will be the usual suspects.
Okay.